Well, hey there, hi there, ho there, DisWiz fam. We're going to kick off this October trip, a week's worth of vlogs, some Disney magic, and my experiences. I hope your money meets the magic watching these vlogs, and let's go ahead and get into an adventure. So, as you can see, I actually flew out of Concord, North Carolina, into the smaller Sanford Orlando International Airport via Allegiant Air, which I had flown before in 2016. So, it had been, 9 years since I've flown Allegiant. So, it was pretty smooth, I would say. However, from Concord, North Carolina, my flight did keep getting pushed back throughout the day. So, we actually were supposed to leave at around 3:59 on October 2nd. So we actually didn't end up leaving till around 7:15 from Concord. So I had to set in that smaller airport. So just keep that in mind if you do fly a budget airline out of a smaller regional airport. You may get delayed. However, I got into Sanford just fine. It was a little bit late, so I did have to work pretty much the next day before Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So it was just kind of late night for me. So just keep that in mind if you do fly any of these budget airlines. They could get pushed back. Delays are real common. However, I got into Sanford and enjoyed it. It was a very relatively smooth flight. It was about an hour and 20 minutes from Concord into Sanford Orlando International Airport. And then I got to check into one of my favorite Disney resorts, Coronado Springs Resort and Spa with the Convention Center. Disney's Coronado Springs Resort is a Walt Disney World moderate resort. So, for those who don't know, Walt Disney World Resort actually splits their hotels up into three different tiers. There's the value resorts like the All Star Movies, the Art of Animation, I think your All Star Sports resorts. There is the moderates like Port Orleans Riverside. Hint, that's actually the other resort we stay at in this October vlog series. Coronado Springs is also in this tier as well, in addition to the deluxe tier, which is what people think of most when they think of Walt Disney World, which would include, say, like the Wilderness Lodge, the Contemporary Resort, and the Grand Floridian, among others as well. Now, some of you might be asking, well, Carson, this looks like a Disney Deluxe hotel. And to which I would say it definitely has some of the amenities that you would find at a Disney Deluxe hotel, such as an actual spa. And you do get the upgraded amenities in the Grandestino Tower as well. In addition, this resort is for foodies everywhere, with restaurants like the Three Bridges, the Dahlia Lounge, the Maya Grill. This place has something for everybody. So I definitely recommend Grandestino Tower and Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. As you can see, I stayed in the Cabanas section. So the Cabanas is actually going to be the closest section to the new Grandestino Tower that you see in the video right here. So I highly recommend Coronado Springs to really anybody looking to level up their Walt Disney World vacation. So at Coronado Springs, it's actually split up in between four sections. So I stayed at the Cabanas section, which is the closest to Grandestino Tower. There's also the ranchos and the casitas. There is an internal bus loop, however. So if you don't like the Walt Disney World buses, which I don't understand people who don't, I've tried mass transit in big metropolitan areas like Washington, D.C., and the Walt Disney World buses are not like that at all. But if you're somebody who prefers to either take the boat, say from Wilderness Lodge to Magic Kingdom, the monorail from Contemporary to Magic Kingdom, or the Skyliners from, say, like Caribbean Beach over to Hollywood Studios or Epcot, you might want to book at one of those resorts. However, what you get at Coronado Springs, value for your money, I would actually recommend Coronado Springs over some of the other moderates, like we're going to get further into this series at Port Orleans Riverside. They have an internal bus loop as well. However, I think theirs is a lot longer just due to the size of that resort as well. No visit to the Walt Disney World Resort for me would be complete without a very well themed pool, and this resort is no different. There are quiet pools. So, where I stayed at the Cabanas, in addition, if you stay in the ranchos or the casitas, there are quiet pools. However, the main pool is called the Lost City of Cibola, or also the dig site pool main area. And this pool is fantastic. It's got an ancient Mayan temple with a water slide. The Spinning Jaguar was missing at the time of my visit in October 2025. However, typically the Jaguar is there. I don't know, I guess Bagheera had to take some time off, but this pool and all the pools at Coronado Springs are fantastic. So definitely take some time out of your Walt Disney World vacation and check out the pools on property. So as you can see, my first check-in day into this October vlog series was fantastic. Got in a little bit later than I anticipated. However, the accommodations and the food, the hot honey chicken sandwich review is coming up in a future video, so stay tuned for that. But I had a fantastic time traveling to Walt Disney World for all the spooky season and everything. So stay tuned in this series. There's a lot more to come. There's 8 more vlogs after this first day, so stay tuned. But again, Coronado Springs is one of my favorite resorts on Walt Disney World property, just for the sheer things to do and all of the places to eat at that resort. You can make a vacation just staying at the hotel and never step foot into a theme park. That's why Coronado Springs is one of my top choices to stay at. And I'm so glad that I split this trip up to stay here and, spoiler again, Port Orleans Riverside. The things you see at Disney. Funnies. So, had a good flight, albeit it was delayed 3 times from Concord, North Carolina, but nonetheless, I'm here. I'm all checked in to the cabanas at Coronado Springs Resort. So, very tired, got to work tomorrow, and then tomorrow night we've got Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, so stay tuned for that. Just excited to be on Disney property and to be filming for DisWiz Dollars, where your money meets the magic. All right. So the DisWiz is officially tired after his long journey from North Carolina all the way home to Florida at Disney World. So had a lot of fun. Had the hot honey chicken sandwich from El Mercado at Coronado Springs, the food court. So I think I'm about to head in. So stay tuned for a week's worth of vlogs here at DisWiz Dollars. And I hope your money meets the magic while I go ahead and turn on the three Caballeros in my three Caballeros room. And look, Anaheim Ducks. So, as always, I hope your money meets the magic, and I'll see you in the next one.